Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today we are going to be ranking all of the 31 palettes that I used in the 31 days of August. So yes, I did manage to use a palette per day in August. So if you want to know what I used and how I ranked them from lowest to highest and what I thought of each palette. So if you're interested in hearing all about that, then hang tight because I'm getting right into it. So I do this at the end of every month. A lot of these, some of these are palettes I pulled from my shop, my stash. Some of them are palettes I got throughout the month. Some are palettes that I pulled from Palette Roulette. Some of them I just pulled out from my stash just randomly because I wanted to use them for a specific purpose. And things are like that. I didn't use all of my shop, my stash palettes this month, but then I keep them. I keep a little tab here, a little notes file here, and write down what I thought of everything. And then I'm going to refer to this because some of the things, you know, back at the beginning of the month, I just don't remember what I thought about them. So let us go ahead and start with the first palette. I'm going from lowest rank to highest rank, and just because it is at the bottom doesn't mean I didn't enjoy it. Just like this palette I got in, I think it was the ice cream beauty bag. Yes, I tried this out. Haha, this didn't fall to the ground. Yes, this is the Okolon 40 color shadow palette. It is called the Jade palette. It is a nice rainbow palette. It's got a lot of mattes, it's got some shimmers, and it has some glitters, which at first I was kind of like, I don't know if I want glitters, but then I realized, you know what, I don't have a lot of glitters that are contained in just one palette that are like a rainbow of glitters. And so it's nice to have a palette of glitters that are come in many shades, because you know, you get one palette and it has like one purple glitter in it, things like that. But it's nice to have another rainbow palette. I do have my Blend Bunny rainbow palette, but you know, it's nice to have another one with different shades. The only thing I didn't really like about this is that it doesn't have a lot of purples in it. Not really. These are more leaning on the blue side of purple and on the pink side of purple, but not really purple. The only violet purple really is the shimmer there. Yeah, that's kind of what I wrote down, is I wish it had more purples. But like I said, I already have a rainbow palette. That's kind of why I put this down at the bottom. But like I said, it's kind of nice to have a different one because it does have different shades in it. It did perform nicely. That's why I like it. And also the cover art is kind of misleading. Makes you think it's going to be a green palette, and it is not. Why do they call it Jade? Exactly. I don't know. There are some greens, but I don't know. That's why it's kind of at the bottom. Okay. Oops. Didn't put this back in. Okay. All right. The next I used in a Use It or Lose It was the Naked Wild West eyeshadow palette. I kept it because I did like some of these different shades. The Urban Decay formula is just okay. You know, this kind of slid by, you know, on a close razor edge. What did I write about it? It's still worth keeping around for the few shades. Now, if I do a Ruthless Declutter, I don't think it's going to make it through, but I wanted to keep it around just to use it just a few last times to make those really cool, to use these really cool shades. I like this shade Bud. I like the shade Cowboy Rick. I like the shade Tex. I do like the shades Whiskey. This one right here. I do like this shade Rustler right here. I just need to get my act together and start using it more. Maybe I will pull it out for this next month's Shop My Stash, which tomorrow will be a Shop My Stash video. Okay, two palettes that I bought this month were from Cara. I don't think I showed them to you, but I bought the Gemini and Virgo eyeshadow palettes from them. They were having a sale. Okay, these do have the color savers in them. I need to keep them. Okay, this is the Virgo palette. I like that it had pinks, purples. Well, the Gemini palette had the pinks in it. The Virgo had the purples, had some greens. They both have some blues in it. This one had some, this one had a yellow or a gold and a neutral, had some neutrals in it. This has a very dark color. Maybe that might be a black, and it had some browns in it. These two that go together, this one also has some neutrals in it. These two by themselves, I don't know. I think I can really make a look with it, but these two together make a really nice look. I like the color stories. It's just the formula is just okay. Nothing really special about the formula. It's kind of light, not that pigmented. When I have bright colors like this in a palette, I expect them to be really pigmented, but I shouldn't be surprised because that Planetary Divine palette that I have from them, which I'm going to show later, is not that pigmented, but I give it a little grace because of the color story. It's hard to describe. Those look like they're going to be really pigmented, and I expect them to be pigmented. The ones in the Planetary Divine look like colors that are not going to be that pigmented, and I don't mind that they're not that pigmented. It's hard to describe. It really is. Okay, next up, I have the Revolution Monsters University Scare Cards. I have the Rookies of the Year, which are Mike and Sully, and I have the Scare Card for Art. And these are what they look like. They are really cute packaging. I love the packaging. 10 out of 10 for packaging. And I used these colors down here and these colors down here to make a look. Like I said with the last palette, they were really lightly colored, and the shimmers were really light. I have yet to make like a neutral look with this. I'm thinking if I made a neutral look, I'd like it a lot better. I'm thinking instead of the more colorful look. So that's why these are down there. What did I say? The pans are also kind of small. The shimmer's not that impactful, but neither are the mattes. They do make, it is a cute look that I made. It's just not my favorite look that I made. Okay, I bought this Nomad Orient Express when it was on sale. I think it is going out of stock. If you want to check it out on Nomad. If you are on Nomad, use my friend's code, Christine, from Life with Christine. Her code is Christine10. It'll save you 10% off of your order. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. I just bought the new Ghost Town USA palette on there and used her code. It is not affiliated, but it will tell them that you are using her code, and yeah, get her some attention from Nomad. So yeah, this is the Orient Express palette. It is one of their older palettes. It was on sale. Like I said, I think it's what am I trying to say? That is going out of stock soon. I just wanted to round out my collection. This isn't my favorite color story, though, but I think the greens and the browns and the golds go together really well. I'm not a big fan of reds and blues and whites together, but they had enough browns and greens And like I said, golds. And this pink is really cool too. I don't know if I'll ever use the reds and blues though. I have a hard time coming up with red and blue looks. So that's why this one's so low. The formula is still great and blended and pigmented. So yeah, nothing wrong with this palette at all. It's just the color story isn't my favorite color story from them. And the shimmers, it's an older palette, and the shimmers aren't really as, what do you say? They're more subtle than their older palettes, their newer palettes. So that's something to consider as well. Okay, let me get the next deck of palettes and I shall return one. Okay, the next palette I have is the Jeffree Star X Shane Dawson Conspiracy palette. Okay, this will always perplex me, this color story, but I do manage to make a look every time I pull this out. There's just colors in here that I'm probably never going to use. Probably like this orange color or this flaming hot color. I think this is called cheese dust here. I do love some of these colors like Illuminati, and this color here called sleep paralysis. And now there's colors that I always use, like this pigment and this not a fact here, and these neutral colors up here. And I used this yesterday as an inner corner highlight when I was using another palette. And I love this color here, Conspiracy, and I really want to be able to use this color here, What's the Tea? And I love this color here, Just a Theory. Yeah. And yeah, I want to love this palette. I really do. I really, really want to love this palette. It's just, my imagination is holding me back. I don't know. But I want to keep it around. I want to experiment with it more. I've seen other people do great looks with it. I want to be that person too, to do it. I mean, I know Shane Dawson isn't like some color theory genius or anything like that, but I think that I could make some good looks with that if I tried. Okay, the next palette that I have is the Colourpop Troublemaker, which when I first reviewed this, I didn't like it very much. But then I tried it again and I really, really enjoyed it. So what did I say? Yeah, the second look came out so much better than the second look. And I'm so glad that I gave it a second chance. And it's best for an evening look, I would say, or maybe trying to do an Instagram look. But I really do love the shades in this palette. I mean, why wouldn't I? They are purple shades. The problem I had was they're mainly all mid-tone shades, but I was able to make it work and get a good look out of it. Yeah. But yeah, I would say this for evening looks for sure. The next palette I have is the Beauty Crop Sangria palette. I love this color story. It has the purples, the pinks, the blues. It has a glitter in it, and it does have a light color in it. It does have an inner corner. What am I trying to say? Get it out, Jennifer. Inner color highlight. Inner corner highlight color. Yes. And what did I say? Great for making pinky purple look. Yeah, I used this for a Barbie collab that I did. But I can only do a couple of looks with it. That's why it isn't up higher. So yeah, but yeah, like I said, this could also make a good evening look if I try it, but I do love my pinks and purples. So that's why it is where it is on the list. Okay, next is the Blend Bunny Cosmetics Surge palette. And yeah, I love Blend Bunny Cosmetics. The only thing I really don't care for about Blend Bunny is their shimmer shades. They they really make my eyelids look wrinkly. crinkly, wrinkly. Yes. But as far as their formula, it is top notch. As far as their mattes go, are absolutely top notch and blendable. And that's why I love their blends palette so much, which is their rainbow palette. So that is probably why this isn't up so much. What did I use this for? I did it for a collab. That's all I said. This is great for collabs. Not really an everyday palette. Also, these are so metallic. So metallic. It is a great formula. Very pigmented and blendable. I can't remember what collab I used this for, though. Was it another Barbie collab? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it was for a Sassy Divas collab. Okay, I can't remember. It's been a long month. Okay, the next palette. Okay, there went a palette. Next palette is the Beauty Creations Cali set palette, which I absolutely love. This kind of color story as well. Only thing is, I can only get a couple of looks out of this palette. Which with if I had a 5-pan palette, yeah, I can only expect to get 1 look out of it. But if I have a 9-pan palette, I would expect to get 3 or 4 different looks out of it. But if I can only get 2 looks or so out of it, I would rank it lower. So that's kind of where I'm at with this palette, because there's only, well, there is 5 mattes, but 2 of the mattes kind of look alike. And this color, it's a good inner corner highlight, but that's all it's really good for. But I love this palette. It never lets me down. And it is kind of a dark look. So it would be for evening time purposes, but it is such a sultry look. Okay, when I was talking about 5-pan palettes, I am talking about the Natasha Denona mini palettes. This is the mini star palette. I like these 4 shades. I am not big on this duochrome here. Really love this, but it's not my favorite Natasha Denona mini palette. It probably ranks low as far as the mini palettes go from Natasha Denona, but it really makes a good look with these 4 shades here. What did I say about it? Not one of my favorites. Did not love the look I made. Okay. But the formula is still awesome. I kind of wish that duochrome was just another matte. Yes, okay. So, I still rated it pretty highly. I mean, it's not high on the list, but I rated it above all those other palettes that I really liked. So, it must be the formula that I'm rating highly. I know that I love those 3 colors at least. Let me swatch this gold color here. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. I must have just been having an off day or something when I made this look. But yeah, those are all colors that I can totally get behind. Yeah. Okay. Okay, now I've got 3 neutral color palettes. The first one is the Color Boss Master Palette by El Makiage. I got this in the Ipsy icon box. Really, really like this palette. Really makes a good look. Beautiful neutral mattes. Nothing special about it. There's nothing special about this palette. It's just really beautiful. Nice mattes, nice shimmers, good formula. Would be a good work palette. I mean, I've got some neutral palettes here, but this is the only one with shimmers in it, really. Kind of reminds me of my Patrick Ta palette, but I don't have that one in here. But it reminds me of the Patrick Ta palette, but the shimmers are a little less crazy than the ones in the Patrick Ta palette. So I really like this. It made making a neutral look really easy. So I really like that one. But I did like the Vizier matte palette better. I used this yesterday and came up with a really pretty look. The only thing is it has like these 4 shades up here that are very much the same. I do like that it has this burnt orange shade. I am able to use it with the little single shimmers that I have over here, that I keep over here on my desk, and to make a really cool look. No, I didn't use this yesterday. I used this a couple of days ago, but it still came out with a pretty look. It does have some cool shades that I don't know if I would use in it. I think that's the only thing that I'm not loving about this palette. But yeah, there's that one. And then probably the favorite one I have used this month was the Jeffree Star Orgy palette. Again, it's just all mattes, but you have a big selection to choose from. And like I said, I can use my shimmers from over here to add to it. It just has a really good selection of warm browns to choose from. And I just really enjoy his formula a lot. So the next one we have is the BH Cosmetics Party in Puerto Rico palette. I think I used this in I think it came up in a palette roulette, I believe. I think so, yes. And made a very nice fiery look with this. Love BH Cosmetics. They have a great formula. Love this color story for the summertime. Really, really cool. And excellent formula. Great summer color story. A lot of fun to play with. I would use this during the day. I would probably even during to work too. I love a yellow and orange look. Love this palette. Okay. Alright, now we get back to the Cara Planetary Divine palette. Now let me show you this palette. Okay, these colors are a little bit more muted. Now, these aren't as pigmented, just like the other Cara palette, but with this, I don't mind having a light look with these. So, it's hard to explain. It really is. So I love this palette so much. I got it for free from Cara too, and I can just make so many different looks with this one. It is just so beautiful. It has names of planets on it and stuff like that, or celestial names, let's just say that. Okay, so I love making looks with this palette. Really, really love this palette. I think it's just so low down because there's just so many other palettes that I like before it. What did I say? Yeah, those bigger pans in there, absolutely great shimmers. Okay, then I pulled this for a palette roulette as well. It is the Naughty palette by BH Cosmetics. It is a holiday palette, but you can make looks with it year round. It's really cool. Another great formula from BH Cosmetics. They did such a good job with this palette. You can make all kinds of looks with this palette. I mean, it has neutrals, it has reds, it has blues, purples. It has a couple of glitters in it, but they're really finely milled glitters. It has a green. It has this nutcracker color, which is like a plum color in there, or it is just, I mean, it is just an awesome, I loved the look that I came up with this palette. Absolutely loved it. And what is, it's versatile. I'm going to put it in rotation, probably in December I will. And yeah, it's not, but I'll put it in December, but it's not just a Christmas palette. Absolutely love it. All the palettes from this point on, I'm going to absolutely praise. I'll be right back. Let me get the next. Okay, a palette that I actually picked up from TJ Maxx from Makeup Revolution that I liked is the Makeup Revolution and Corpse Bride palette. It looks like this. This was a lot more pigmented than the Monsters University palette, and it has the pinks and purples and blues that I really love, and I loved the look that I came up with this. It did remind me a lot of Corpse Bride, to tell you the absolute truth. And yeah, I can't wait to, this would make a good Halloween palette, I think. So yeah, I will probably pull this out again in October. A summertime palette that I got is the, who made this? Sugar Drizzle. I bought this myself. Well, I bought all of these myself. Why do I keep saying that? Okay. I love this palette. It is a nice green palette. What did I say about it? Love this green palette. Maybe more of a nighttime look, yeah, because it's all dark colors. This brand doesn't disappoint. Yes, I have a palette from them, which is all duochromes and multichromes, and it is just absolutely fabulous. They have a good matte. This is the first time I tried their matte formula, and it is really good. There are only 3 mattes in here, but they are absolutely fan-friggin-tastic. And yeah, you've got a wide range of green colors in this palette. I loved the look I made with it. Can't wait to use it again. Okay, the third and final Natasha Denona mini palette I have in here is the mini gold palette. Now, when I first used this palette back in summertime of last year, I really did not like this palette. So when I pulled it out again this year, I thought, I'll try it again, but I don't think I'm gonna like it because I really did not like this gold color on my eyelids. And this time when I tried it, I didn't put it on my eyelid. I put it on in my inner corner, and I absolutely loved the look I came up with when I tried this. So yeah, I'm glad I gave this another try. Another new palette that I bought this month was the what are they called? Cosmic Brushes. It just says CB on here, but it's Cosmic Brushes Serenity 20 color palette. Kept hearing so many great things about Cosmic Brushes that I finally broke down and bought something from now. Now, I was a little surprised. These are not as pigmented as they are in the pan, especially if you blend them out. If you just place them on your lid and don't blend them out, they are very pigmented. But if you do blend them out, they do blend out to be very, very pastel colored. And so once I got through that learning curve, I did come to appreciate this palette. Now, there are colors in here, like this color right here, that are just absolutely to die for. That color, and this color right here, and oh my gosh, this color right here, and this color right here. These make the palette, and that are not there. And I also like this palette because there are more mattes than there are shimmers, but the shimmers they have, they will knock your boots off. And yeah, that is why this one is as high as it is, but as low as it is, because I am not really, sorry, I'm looking for a makeup wipe. I am not really into pastels that much, or I would have rated it higher. But it is a great formula. I mean, they were not lying when they were when people were talking about this palette, how good it is, how blendable it is, how freaking fantastic it is. So I will definitely give them that. Okay, next up is what I got in my Slay Glam box. It is the Peridot palette from Russia B Cosmetics. It's another green palette, but I like it. I will say it out loud. I like it better than the Mojito palette. And it has it has two. It only has 2 mattes and 3 shimmers. But these shimmers, the look I came up with, oh my gosh. I didn't want to take it off my eyes. It's called Peridot because that is the birthstone of August. And oh my gosh, what did I write about this? Yeah, it's my favorite palette from this brand so far. The shimmers are the best I've seen from this brand, and the mattes are finally at full pigmentation. It took this brand a while, but they're finally at full pigmentation. I am totally impressed by this brand now. If they keep this formula up for all of their palettes, I will be a forever fan of this brand. So yeah, good job. The next palette I have is from Fantasy Cosmetica. It is the Bard palette. Y'all know how much I love this palette and the color story of it. It is a little out there, I will admit, but I mean, you can make a wearable look with this color story. You know, take away that, don't look at that blue there, and it really is a wearable color story. I don't know if I will use that blue unless I'm doing like a collab or a Instagram look, but you can use all those other colors. They make a beautiful look. What did I say about it? Yeah, great for collabs and evening looks too, if I went out more at night. Great pigmented formula, very blendable. I really want more stuff from this brand, and someday I'm gonna get more stuff from this brand. Okay, next is the Wild Greens palette by Urban Decay. I used this when I went out one day, and I really love this formula. What did I wear it to? Maybe when I went to work orientation? I don't know. Maybe that was it. But I came up with a really nice look. No, I wore it when I went to a high school football game to see my daughter play in the band. That's what I wore this to. So it was just a really, really plain look. I say plain, but it was beautiful. It was really nice. And just used some pinks and browns in it. But I really loved the look. It was nothing. It wasn't hitting it out of the ballpark or anything like that, but I really loved the neutral look I came up with this one. Then it had some colors and a little bit of shine to it. So yeah, that's why I'm placing it up so high, because it's just a very wearable palette. Just like the next one, which is the Naked 3 palette. Very wearable, very neutral. I love my pinks and my mauves. Love me some mauves. And it's still a classic. I think it's still very high selling out there. So yeah, still love that palette. And I love this Blush Crush. This is a new one that I got from Colourpop. Finally got around to using it. And this is what I wore to my work orientation. And had a very nice pink look going on. And yeah, there are like 3 shades in here that are that matte with glitter in it. And I don't know why there are 3 of those in here, because those glitters just poof away when you put them on your eyes. So I don't know why they still have that formula. But anyway, there's like two shimmers in here that are good for the eyelids and one really good inner corner highlight. Although I would stand to say that these two make really good inner corner highlights as well. Makes a really good look. As you can see, I love pink palettes. As you can see, I lied. There's one more mini Natasha Denona palette, and it is this one, the mini Starlet palette. It is a new one from Natasha Denona. Love, love, love this palette. And it makes a stunning look, not like a date night look. This is more like a good daytime look, but I love this color story. Great shimmers. I expect I'm going to use this one a lot, especially for work looks, I think. So expect great things from that one to come, especially also from this Smoke and Roses palette, another pink palette. Yes, I know. I have a thing. I have a type, okay, and it is a pink and neutral colors. So yeah, I use this one for that phone interview that I did, and I did it in a Get Ready With Me. Came up with a really killer look with this one, and yeah, love this one. Love, love, love it to death. And I'm going to be using this one a lot in the future. Definitely. I just love all these palettes in the top third or so. For the number 3 palette, I have the Nomad Okavango Safari palette. A nice neutral look with some greens in it, or a nice neutral palette with some greens in it. This is their not their newest palette, because their newest palette is the Ghost Town one. This came out before that one. So yeah, I was able to make a couple of looks with this one, and they both came out really, really pretty. And yeah, I just love Nomad. They're always going to come out on top, especially with their newest palettes. And yeah, I mean, you can't beat their formula, really. I mean, in my opinion, that's just my opinion, but these greens came out really, really great. They have a very pigmented, very blendable, very good formula. I will always recommend Nomad, and yeah, definitely Nomad for the win every time. And another palette that's always going to make it out on top is the Natasha Denona, my dream palette. Used this one. What did I use it for? My tablet went blank. Okay, there it goes. I didn't use this for anything in particular. I think I did a YouTube short with it. I think that's what I did. And I just say that I love the looks that I make with this one. I can make lots of different looks with this one. And I love this multi-chrome down here. And yeah, I mean, it's not my favorite. My favorite is the retro palette, but this probably comes in a good second when it comes to the MIDI palettes. I don't have a lot of MIDI palettes from Natasha Denona. I have a lot of mini palettes, but I don't have a whole lot of MIDI palettes. I have like maybe 4, maybe 5, I don't know. But this one is probably my second favorite. And yeah, it just makes really, really good looks. Love it to death. And you might be surprised to hear that my top pick is actually from an affordable brand, and that is the Moira Celestial Love Palette. Oh my gosh, yes, it is another pink and neutral palette, but this one is, oh my gosh, phenomenal. It is probably one of my top 10 palettes in my collection. I love every single shade in this palette. I have used every single shade in this palette. I can't say that about all of my palettes. Love the packaging. The packaging is wonderful. I keep the box that it comes in. Love the formulas. I have absolutely nothing bad to say about this palette. Absolutely nothing bad to say. If this comes into play during the month, it's probably always going to win at #1 unless there is just, unless something goes wrong. I mean, that's about what it comes down to. Okay, and those are all the palettes that I used in the month of August 2023. Let me know if you have any of those palettes, what you think of them, what are some outstanding palettes that you have used during this month, or some disappointing palettes that you might have used this month. Let me know everything down in the comments below. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Share this with your friends if you feel so inclined, but no pressure. Just you watching to this point in the video really helps me out. Thank you so much for watching. Whether you are a subscriber, whether you are a casual viewer, whether this is your very first time watching one of my videos, thank you so much. If this is your first video, thank you so much for picking this video to watch. If you like what you see, please consider subscribing, hitting that notification bell, setting it to all so that you're notified every time that I upload a new video. Okay, so I hope you're all having a wonderful, fantastic day out there today. If you're having an especially hard time, know that I am thinking about you. I'm sending you out all of those good vibes. Just remember to stay strong, stay healthy, and stay safe out there. And I will see you in another video soon. Just stay well until then. Okay, goodbye.